Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Today we have some old stock Bilstein shocks that came on stock, and they look crusty too. They're all right there. They got about 186,000 miles on them. Some Bilstein original Toyota shocks. You're replacing them with these. I'm gonna put the part number down at the bottom. These are not for a Toyota 4Runner GX, FJ, whatever. They all use the same stuff, but these are not. These are for like a 95 to whatever Wrangler, and you're gonna see why in a minute I chose these. Now the top mount is the same as the Toyota, but the bottom is different. On the Toyota, the hole is 3/4 of an inch. This one is only 1/2 an inch, but I'm going to show you how to get this to work on your Toyota. I've got these Icon coil springs here, 3-inch dual rate springs. So that brought me up quite considerably high, not too high, but high in the back. And now my Bilstein shocks are at full extension at 23.25, 23.5. So they can't extend out no more. They can compress, but you know, you need them to compress and to extend. So right now, as they're mounted, as it's sitting, it's 23. Those are 33s on there, and you can still see quite a bit of space here in the fender. I mean, we're sitting up, you know, as high as I want it. So I'm going to show you how to tuck these suckers in there and have all the flex possibly can. But first, let's get into one little detail here. Let me get my light. So the bottom bolt that holds the shock on, the eyelet, is a 17mm, and this one also is a 17mm. But they've never came off. These are the originals. But there's this metal right here that I had to cut away. Just made it a whole lot easier to access it, and you're not damaging anything. So I went ahead and cut that away because I noticed I was starting to strip the top. So that's one thing to point out. I don't know if it's like that on the 4Runner or the GX. I know this is the FJ and this is how it is, but now I cut that out and I'm able to access that. And we're gonna spray some lube in there and drop it out, and I'll set it next to the new one, and I'll compare it. I'll do a comparative analysis with you. I had to fight Japanese manufacturing and German engineering with good old Italian ingenuity. Got that sucker loose. Now I can still reuse it. Let's get this shock off. Pete's sake. The only way to bust the nut is I had to drill a hole through the stem and hammer in a punch so the stem would stay still and I can loosen the nut. Oh! Where's my hammer? Oh, fuck. Hit my head on the fucking hitch again. That hurt. Oh, good thing I got a hard head. Yeah, let's get this motherfucker up. Do what I said. I did. What? What's going on? Oh, take off these washers. Yeah, so my wife was talking about a funky smell every morning, and we thought it was the dog coming from the bedroom that was sleeping with my boy. Instead, my boy just hit a wet, soggy teddy bear underneath the mattress. So now we know what the smell was. Yeah. Wow, this is original. Let me bring you in. Didn't believe me, huh? Didn't believe me, huh? It's Toyota Bilstein. There's even like a code or something on this. See, can you read that? Anybody know what that means? 4030 642 space O. Look at the wear. But you know what? Watch this. I'm gonna push it down. It's compressing, it's compressing, it's compressing. Let's see what happens. It comes back up. Slowly, but it comes back up. That means it's still good. That means I can put it in my car. Yeah. Let's go from tip to tip. Yeah, it's about 31. This one tip to tip was like 26 and a quarter. Is that this one, its ride height, you know, was at 23, so that means it only had like, yeah, so see, that's where it mounted. See the center of the hole, 23 and a half. It was sitting at 23. So I mean, you only had a ½ inch more of extension. And so that's why I'm getting rid of this one that's made for the Toyota, because this one, you've seen the compression, you've seen the extension. It can work in those ranges without bottoming out or overextending. So right there, I drilled a hole. It's gonna sit right there. You just need to drill you a ½ inch hole. So I went and got some new bits as well, and it's just gonna mount right there. Not too bad. It's about, I don't know, a ½ an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch higher. Not a big deal. It'll work out. Let me finish drilling this hole and I'll bring you back. Honest to goodness work light. But there's the hole. It's a ½ inch hole. My bolt's gonna line right up in there. And this is where it's gonna be mounted to. It's very strong still. So let me mount this thing up and show you what it looks like. Alright, if you can't notice, we're up under the vehicle. We'll bring you into where the shock is. Alright, I don't have the nut on it yet. You can see the bolt goes through. There's the threads. M12. The ½ inch would not fit through the washer. So I knew it wouldn't fit through the shock, I think. I just went the safe route with the M12 thickness. And it's a 70 millimeter, which is like just under 2.5 inches long. So it's gonna be pretty easy to put that nut on there and hold it down with the wrench. As you can see, we're looking straight up. It's not touching anything. It's right where the other one would fall in. It's just a little bit inwards from that mounting position because of the amount of metal I had to drill a hole through. I wanted it to be solid all the way around. You can see them from the back. Not really. I like it. They're brushed aluminum. They're not even painted. All you're going to see over here is the boot. You know, which is a really good boot, by the way. I gotta put that other rubber washer in there and tighten it down, snug it down, and it's ready to rock and roll, man. This thing is gonna bounce good now. It's gonna have suspension, because before, these right here, when you go over a railroad track and the back of your wheels go up, they're already fully extended, so they're almost acting like limit straps. The whole thing would go up. So that wasn't no good, you know. So let me get to it and tighten this shit down. So to put it back on, they were smart enough to put an Allen key on the top of it, of the stem, so you can hold it still. But you're gonna have to take one of these Allen keys and shorten it down so you can fit it in this gap on top of the stem. Now the nut is still a 17 millimeter, just like the old one. Looks like they haven't changed, and that's good. Just keep it all the same. So we got the top stem bolted down, snugged up. Here's a look from the back side. There's my metric bolt going through. I got the nut threaded on there, and what I'm thinking is maybe I can just tighten it from this side, and maybe the nut will stay still. Oh yeah, check that out. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I don't even have to put a wrench in there. This is really working out, man. If you go and get you one of those so-called lift kits, now I'm not dogging you if you do. They're great lift kits. I mean, for $1,000, $1,500, you're gonna get what you pay for, and I'm telling you what, you better get something good. It's $1,500, you better get some good. But do you know the travel of your shock absorbers? And if you do, drive your front steer up on a curb that's like a little bit more, I say right at the top of the axle, you know, right about there. Drive your front steer and see how much it flexes without shocks. Then you know how much it needs to flex when you got a shock. And that's what I did. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up. And but yeah, real happy about that. I'm gonna put a good nice tightening on it. And if you noticed, I'm using these two washers are the stem washers from the old shock. It kind of cups the rubber and protects it, which is good from shit hitting it. Kind of keeps it, you know, contained within these two pieces of metal. And the same for this back one and this front one. And they fit great. I didn't have to drill them out or nothing. But this back one here, I had to slice off just a little bit of like a half, not a half moon, like just a little bit, because it was so close to this. I was trying to get it close because the amount of metal I had, surface drilling wise. Up here it'd be too close to the edge, down here it'd be too close to that. So I had to slice a little bit of that on there so it'd sit flush. It's sitting flush. It's real good. No problem. I'm gonna finish tightening this up. So I'm gonna show you what I did with the other side. I'm gonna show you on this side how I was able to get this out, because this nut is pretty much rusted. It's been on there 15 years. It's not even really that rusted. It's just been on there a long time. There's no Allen key at the top of this. They give you a little bit of metal to hold on to. And so what you do is you take this dust boot down, and you got this metal trim piece looking thing right here. That's what the dust boot kind of clips over and holds up the dust boot right there. I just drill a hole straight through that and then drive a punch and leave it in there, and then I just turn this to my heart's desire, and it's got to turn right because it's going all the way through the shaft. I tried it first up top, that wouldn't work. That metal's too soft, but this metal down here is a lot harder and thicker. There we go. Got a nice clean hole going right down the middle. Get you a punch or some kind of hard steel. That's what I'm using. There's this ancient punch I got. So I'm gonna put it in there and beat on it. Obviously it ain't gonna come back out, so I'm just gonna take a hacksaw when I'm done, cut it off, leave it like that, because I do want to reuse these on the car. They're still good shocks. It's just for this truck, they're just, you know, they're old. That's all the way through. If I'd have known this, it would have saved me a lot of time on the other side. It is straight up bending that steel. That's how tight it is. A little scary. It bent it like a U, 180 degrees. That's crazy. Let's keep on going. It's not going to bend this thick part, so it's either going to break or it's going to loosen. Hear that? That's the nut coming loose. Man, that sucker was on there. I don't think it was done tight. It's just been on there for so long. Yep, now it's coming loose. I'm gonna go get my ratchet wrench. Now before I take it all the way off to the top, what's gonna happen is that nut's gonna make it, that nut's gonna be sitting on top of the threads with this on it, and I won't be able to get it off. So I'm gonna go ahead right now, like I did on the other side, slice this off like that. That's good enough. Now, finish taking off that nut. Let's see, barely comes off. Ooh, that's a hot nut. There's your washer. This is the one we'll use with conjunction of the other one down at the bottom around the eyelet. Here's the top. This is all stock Bilstein Toyota, brand new, never taken off. Served me well for quite a while. That's the bushing that's on top. Has that crease in the middle, or crack, or whatever you want to call it. Huh? Let me hammer it out, drop it out. Hammer the bottom and drop it out. So I'm gonna start off with the 1/4 inch, do a 3/8 and then a 1/2 inch drill, and we'll be done making this hole. I'm gonna put this hole right here in this top right corner where I put the last one. It gives you enough space away from this. And it's not too far up to where it's close to the edge, and it's double thick, so there's like, yeah, there's a plate of steel here that's welded onto another plate of steel, so the mounting area is extremely strong, so we're not going to have any problem right there. We just want to put it right there at that tip on that corner. That's all we want to do. And it helps out when you get some brand new drill bits. I got some Milwaukee's here, they did pretty good. I bought some DeWalt's a while ago, man, them things junk. Yeah, we want to put it right about there. There we go, there's one. Oh, that hurt my wrist. Some of you guys got some torque. Ah, that hurt. Damn it, boy. Let's try the other wrist. Golly. Alright, I see what's going on. Woo! Man. Let me take this bit off and put on the 1/2 inch. Try not to snap my wrist off this time, kind of a crooked angle. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get my left hand on it. What in the
Ooh, that'd be hot. Get off of there. All right, almost through. That's it. As you can see, it's like 2 sets of steel that you got to go through. See that line in the middle? It's like they welded a plate on. They did pretty good with the Toyota. They overbuilt it when it came to putting in these shock mounts. But what I don't like is that there's this long stud sticking out. And I wish it was just a hole. That way you can put any size bolt you want. So if you wanted to use, like what I'm doing, using a different size eyelet, you can. You know? Either way. Yeah, now we got to compress it. I mean, you know the rest. We're going to tie it in at the top, bolt it in at the bottom, and it's done. So I don't even have to show you. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the driving video. Yeah, so these Bilstein 5100s, what do I think about them? Pretty damn good. I like them, man. They are the ones for the Jeep Wrangler. And I got them put on the truck, and they're working out really good. I went over some railroad tracks, and it was like it's supposed to be, you know. I got a feeling they'll last a really long time, really long time. The originals lasted, you know, 180 something thousand miles. I took the truck over some railroad tracks that are kind of rough. There's some up here too that we can hit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's try that railroad track at a little faster speed. Not too bad for a frame-on body. So yeah, there is a big difference there. Well, hey, I want to thank you for watching, sticking in with the video. I appreciate it. The next modification we got coming up with this FJ Cruiser is a new muffler. Looking to get like a Flowmaster 40 or a 50 series. So y'all stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, and y'all take it easy. And y'all have a good one. Well, you thought the video was over, but not exactly. We're gonna take this truck out and flex it a little bit. I know a pretty good sized curve we can get up on, and we're gonna show you exactly how these shocks stack up. And what I mean is real world measurements. So I've had these on for about 2 days now, and I've got the tape measure up against the mounting surface. And if you come down towards the mounted, you see the center of the bolts is sitting at 22. Now I found me a curb that's right at about 13 3/4 tall. Let's go ahead and get some measurements. I mean, wow, we're really spread out big time. And that 33 is nicely tucked in there. 25.5 inches. From there to there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's 25.5. See, there's the 25. 25.5 inches to the center of the bolt. From the tire to the top of the fender, you're looking at 15 inches. So here we are on the other side, and from the floor to the top of the fender, we're looking at just about 32 1/4. And on that same side, I got it touching the very top of where it's mounted at the eyelet, down to the center of bolt, and we're looking at 19 inches. And there's a look at the rear of the vehicle. And that's got to be your typical massive boulder that you try to go over, right? And that's where we're at. And that's why I chose these shocks. Now here we are at Bilstein's website, and they have this product listed here. Here's the shock absorber and the bushings that it comes with. It's a B8 5100 suspension shock absorber, part number 24-185653. This is for a front shock absorber for a 87 to 94 Jeep Wrangler. And here's the specifications. So the collapsible length 16.97. So when I had that driver's side up on that curb, the passenger side was collapsed to only 19 inches. So I still had 2 inches more. So I wasn't over on the collapsible length. Now on the extended length, we're looking at 28.44. I believe our extension was 25.5. So I still had 3 inches there to play with. I wanted to give you the real deal information. You know, if you're looking to get in the kit, you know, $1,000, $1,500 full suspension kit, you know, if they don't tell you what your collapsible and extended length is for that shock, then I wouldn't get it, because I want to know. You know, I want to know if I'm going to flex up over a boulder that's 14 inches tall. You know, my rear axle is going to need a suspension or a shock absorber that's not going to be overwhelmed. It's not going to rip it out. It's not going to act as a limit strap. And you know, where I was going at 25.5 inches extended, that shock would only say reach 23 or 24. That's no good. You know, that's hindering me. That's not keeping my rear end on the ground where I want it. And that's damaging the product that I just bought. And there's a lot of stuff out there that'll do that. So take that with a grain of salt, and whatever you do out there, just do your research, and you know, find a product you really like. You know, I really like Bilstein's. I pulled Bilstein's off of there, 180 something thousand miles, and they still work. They're known and they're good. So, you know, go with a brand that you like, that you've had before, that's rugged, that meets your style of driving. And whatever you do, be safe out there. And y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all watching. Bye.